Welcome to the Firebelly Social Show. We're focused on talking to food and beverage brands that are on a mission to make the world better.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Firebelly Social Show. I'm your guest, Duncan Alney. I got Madonna name status here, Duncan. I'm so glad you're joining us. This is one of the favorite things of my life, to hang out with leaders and founders of food and beverage brands who are building something meaningful, doing amazing things. Sometimes it starts with a big business plan. A lot of times it's a family recipe, and sometimes it just starts by putting an Indian spice blend on your husband's favorite potato chips. Today's guest has one of those stories that brings food, culture, resilience, creativity, entrepreneurship. And like myself, born and grew up in Bombay, moved to the
Represent.
United moved to the United States, trained as a chef, built a successful dessert business, won season 7 of Food Network's Spring Baking Championship. And her latest chapter, according to herself and me, is probably the most exciting one yet. Her name is Keya. She's the founder of Keya Snacks, a brand bringing bold Indian American flavors to one of the most familiar foods in the United States, really in America. The potato chip. So what began as a homemade snack has grown into a nationally distributed brand. Keya Snacks can be found in Sprouts stores all across the country. She's won both a Startup CPG Shelfie Award and a Nexty Award, and is introducing more people to what she describes as flavors that are spiced, not spicy. We'll get into that. What I love about the story is she isn't just simply creating another snack brand. She's using something familiar to introduce people to global flavors, ingredients, and experiences that they might not have had before. And we know that that is very necessary, and it's a huge opportunity, frankly, in the food space and beverage space. So we're going to get into it. Before I start, thank you to Firebelly Marketing. Firebelly helps food and beverage brands tell stories that build awareness, generate demand, and support sales. So if you'd like to know more, go to firebellymarketing.com. Hey, with no further ado, Keya, welcome to the show. It's been a minute in the making. I'm so excited you're here.
Me too. Thank you for having me.
Well, let's start with who Keya is. So I think that's, beginning your story, because I think understanding you and where you came from will help people understand what you're building today. So you
Yeah.
grew up in Bombay, Mumbai. Tell us what it was like growing up. What was life like for you? What kind of kid were you?
I had the best childhood ever. Bombay is one of the most colorful cities on the planet, and colorful in every way, whether it's diversity or culture or food or actual colors, people, you name it. It is an experience like you can't describe. So I had a beautiful childhood. I was a very naughty, bratty kid. I was spoiled to no end. My parents loved me to pieces. I don't. So yeah, they spoiled me like you wouldn't believe.
Well, let me ask you this. So, what role did food play in your family?
Oh my God. Everything was, when you have a living room and there's a TV and all the furniture points at the TV, that was food in our house. So everything was pointed towards food in our lives. Whether it was the second you wake up, you have a snack, then you have a second snack, then you have a breakfast. Then at breakfast, you're talking about your third snack, the fourth snack, and then lunch. So it's constant.
And I mean, Bombay is such an amazing city. What are some of the sights or the sounds or the smells and flavors of Bombay that have stayed with you till today?
Oh man, that is such a good question. So I grew up next to a beach called Jew Beach. It was basically 8 minutes bus ride away. And my dad and I used to go there every morning, get a fresh nariyal pani, which is a fresh coconut water, walk at the beach, eat the cream from the coconut after that. I think that is a core memory for me. But I think when you talk about Bombay upbringing, you have to talk about the street food because that is the essence of that city. And the sounds from the vendors chopping the veggies, putting the things together, opening their umbrella for their all of that is just exquisite.
Why'd you come to America?
I know. I ask myself that every day. Like, what am I doing here? I have to blame my husband for that one. He dragged me out here. I met my husband while I was working for Circuit City back in the day. Kind of, I feel old when I say that, but I'm not. And he was born and raised in Virginia, and I moved here to be with him.
Well, hey, fair enough. And do you feel at this point, after living in Virginia, that and living in the heart of American food culture, do you feel like you're a combination of both Bombay and the United India and the United States now?
Yeah, I think so. You know, you can't ever go back, right? The past, you can't have rose-colored glasses on about the past. So that has its place, and I call it my second upbringing in Virginia has its own place. Because I got my chef training here, I became an older adult here. So I've lived as much in Bombay as I have in Virginia, and I contribute like I owe to both of these places equally.
Yeah, love it. I mean, I came to America to be a cowboy. Didn't
Where
work.
it's what happened?
Well, there was that whole not knowing how to ride a horse thing that was difficult. But really, I think
Mm,
that as much as I love the West, I'm kind of a city kid. And so
mm.
Indianapolis feels like a compromise in some ways. So
All right.
um, let me ask you this. As far as like American food culture, was there anything that surprised you?
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm gonna preface this by saying this. America is one of the most diverse countries on the planet, right? There is more diversity here than I've seen anywhere else. Yet, I never saw that reflected in the daily food that America was consuming. That was pretty plain Jane for a country like America. So I think that surprised me the most.
It's interesting. It is kind of homogenous. I think it's changing, and it's
Mm,
changed in my almost, 38 years of being here. It's
mm.
changed. I remember going to a friend's house and saying, "We're going to feed you this amazing food that we're trying." And it was pasta. And I'm like, what? And I
Okay.
remember going to the grocery store for the first time and thinking, like, why do you need so many brands of cereal? Right? Because
Mm,
I mean, now we have lots of brands of cereal in India too. But, I grew up with what you want to have some cereal, cornflakes. That's it. Right.
that's it.
And
Yep.
so, and I remember going to a grocery store a couple of years later, and I was, in my mind, so Americanized at this point with a fresh off the plane Chinese kid. And we go to the grocery store and he was like, "Where's the food?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Everything's in cans, but where's the actual food?"
Where's the
So,
actual food? Yeah. No, actually, you know what? You bring up a really good point. I think here is the first time that I had a frozen meal.
mm,
I had never even seen one before. I didn't even know that was a thing. So when I was walking down the frozen aisle, and there's like all this TV dinners, as they call them, and I'm like, what are that? What are those? How do you even eat that? It's frozen. That was eye-opening.
man, I'll tell you what. I've never, I mean, frozen food today is so
Mm.
much better than it
So
was
much better.
30
Yeah.
years ago or 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember breaking up with a girl because she served frozen food for a TV dinner on a date. And I
Oh
was
my
like, no, I cannot do this. I'm such a better person now. I would never do that.
Yes, yeah, I hear you. Oh my God.
So before you built Kia Snacks, you built your career around desserts and baking. Where did
Mhm.
that journey begin and how'd you get into pastry?
So my ethnicity is Gujarati, and we are big sweet tooth foodies. And I was always really into sugary things. But growing up in India, we don't have an oven, right? We don't bake very much. It's not part of the culture. So I had never seen an oven in my entire life until I moved here. Once I did, it was in the apartment of my fiance at the time, husband now. And I'm like, what is that box with the knobs on it? Like, what does that thing do? He's like, hey, moron, that's an oven. But by the way, he was storing like cereal boxes and pots in there. I thought it was just another cabinet. Like, what do I know? And I'm like, wait a second. Are you telling me that I can bake stuff? Like nobody's going to stop me. So that's how I learned how to bake. I would just bake 5 things every single day. And I taught myself how to do that. I became a pastry chef. I went on to teach at a pastry college for 9 years. I have Food Network to my name. I've been in the food world for a very long time.
I mean, I'm just gonna say I have to say this because I'm a little bit of ADD. The moment you said Gujarati and snacks, I was like, "Where's the dokla?" So,
Where is the dokla? That is my question at all times. Yes.
where is the dokla? I mean, I guess I don't know how to describe it for our audience, but it's like little spongy, savory snack.
Spongy, pancakey type. Yeah, but thicker and salty and so
And
good.
made out of what? Chickpeas or?
No, it's a blend of rice and lentils, like a rice cake, if you will, but heavier on the lentils.
I mean, going to India in a few days. I'm gonna have to post this when I go because I always get it on the corner,
Ugh.
and with a cup of tea in the little clay pot, and they
Oh
put
man.
cilantro and
Yeah.
shaved coconut and
Yes.
mustard seeds and
Yeah.
cilantro.
Curry leaves. Um, yeah, do me a favor, please don't send me any photos from India. I will not I will not be able to stand that.
And so you became known for introducing cake pops to the Richmond area.
Yes, yeah. And because back then, I was so flabbergasted by portion sizes in this country. Everything was so huge. And nobody was making the cake pops had just been talked about on a blog platform by this one person. So I saw that and I was so intrigued by that. So I started making them on my own. Literally, I was the second person in this country to ever make them. It definitely felt that way. And it took off from there. You know, we couldn't make enough. We would make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cake pops each week.
And what did running I don't know what to call it, a custom dessert
Custom
company,
dessert studio, yeah.
yeah, custom dessert studio teach you about customers?
Yeah, I was really big on not wasting food. So we had a ghost kitchen concept from day one, back when nobody had heard of those terms, right? Of those words until COVID happened, ghost kitchen, ghost kitchen. And the beauty of doing that is that you're customizing your food to your consumer. So it's very easy to know what they want. They pick the flavor, they pick the design, they pick the complexity of whatever you're making, and they're going to love it because it's what they picked. So it's easy to hone in on who your consumer is. That I got spoiled by that because when you go into retail, that's a whole different can of worms.
Whole different can of worms. And you were doing such an amazing job, and suddenly Food Network came along.
Food Network literally like slipped into my DMs. They're like, "Hey, girl, you gotta come to a show." I'm like, "Sure." And the first time they reached out to me, I was 8.5 months pregnant. And they're like, "We want to sign you right now." I'm like, "Yeah, tiny technicality. I can barely walk. Forget coming to LA." So I said, "Thank you, but I can't do it right now. Please come back to me later." And then we sort of kept in touch. Like they would watch me, I would watch them. That whole dance. And they finally reached back out to me again. They're like, "We have another opportunity, which we think you'll be perfect for." And then it kind of happened.
And I mean, you won the entire competition,
The whole thing.
season 7, with flavors that, I mean, things I love, cardamom and golden milk.
Yeah, I
And
just stuck to my guns.
what did winning that mean to you?
Um, I remember on the first day when we arrived, all of the chefs, the producer said something to me that I'll remember for the rest of my life. She said by episode 5 or 6, if you make it to that, you're going to be so exhausted that you're not gonna care about any of this. She's like, if you can push past those episodes or that kind of time, then you got what it takes to win. And I kind of had to really remember that because I was also pregnant at the time. I was 4 months pregnant at that time. So I was very tired already. And it took a different kind of resilience to get through. So I was proud of the fact that I could set an example for my daughter to see someday.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now let's talk about Kia snacks.
Yeah.
I love the origin story of the chips because it's so simple and personal. Your husband loved potato chips.
Just this plain salted potato chip.
And tell us where it went from there.
Oh my God, he's a very meat and potato kind of guy. Grew up in Virginia, had never even heard of Indian food, let alone try it. And to this day, I'm like, how did you marry an Indian girl? How did it slip by the cracks that you had never had Indian food and didn't like it? So I'm like, well, this can't stand. I cannot kill you. I can't divorce you. I have to find a way to introduce you to my culture. So that's how the chips came to be. The Bombay blend that's on the chips right now, I used to make that for myself because I was so homesick. I would put it on eggs and tacos and salads. So one day, like a light bulb went off, and I'm like, why don't I just put this on his favorite snack, this blend, and see if it resonates and if he's able to eat it. And it did. It did the trick, to the point that now he loves Indian food. He eats all kinds of cultural food. It opened up his palate. And that was a massive aha moment for me as a chef.
I mean, it's interesting. I have to just take a little aside here
Mm,
because we were driving back from the lake the other day, and my wife was like, let's listen to a podcast. I'm always listening to music, and
mm,
so she probably didn't want me to control the music, and so and so we started listening to. She had something in mind. It's Trevor Noah's podcast, and he had
mm,
Asma Khan as the
mhm,
guest. And then my connection to Asma Khan, and I'm a big fan.
mm,
And she said almost the same thing. She said she
mm,
came to Oxford to be with her husband. She had never experienced winter before, and she was so depressed. And she wasn't a very good cook at the time.
mm,
And she immediately turned to cooking the food that her family used to cook.
mm,
And from there, it went on to, great things. And today she is who she is. But it's so interesting that you said that you were homesick. And, it's an amazing overlap of, in my mind, too, people that are changing food culture. So I just want to
mm.
throw that out to you.
Thank
Um,
you. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we always fall to the what was the most comforting part of our lives, right? Which is often in food. Often that's kind of what humanizes all of us and gives everybody a even playing ground. We're all connected via that.
And during the pandemic, you started including small bags of the chips with your takeout meals, and then people wanted more.
Oh my God. So pandemic, my dessert business took a hit. So obviously the bottom fell out. All the events went away overnight. So we had to learn how to pivot. And in pivoting, I started to make modern Indian American to-go meals. With those meals, I would include teeny little bags of Bombay spice chips as a thank you for letting me pivot. Like literally teeny little brown bags with two chips in it. And then not even a week later, people were banging down my door for more chips. And I remember the first time a few people called about it, I didn't even realize what they were asking for. I'm like, what chips? I don't remember what you're talking about. So I had to like turn them down. And then I'm like, wait a second. So yeah.
And then you became Bombay chips.
They became Bombay chips. We handmade and hand produced them for 4 years in teeny like clear bags with handmade plastic like stickers. Delivered them locally in 12 stores. Sold the bags for $10 per bag, and it sold on its own. I didn't do a single demo, no in-store activations, no promos, nothing. Just stuck it on the shelf and ran.
That's amazing. And then you relaunched and you got the new name and packaging, and you've described it as your Indian American Dream Snack Company.
Yeah. Yeah. We relaunched because we couldn't keep up with demand anymore. And I just making those things by hand, I have PTSD from that for sure. And making that much stuff. But we wanted to scale up because we felt like we had something that was market fit, there was demand, there was a lot of beautiful things in alignment. And I researched the product for 2.5 years because I wanted to bring something filled with intention and not just another potato chip out on a shelf for whatever reason. So we went to India to get actual spices directly from our farmers. They're single origin and organic because I knew where the good stuff comes from the motherland. And the potatoes come from our farmers in the East Coast. The chips are made in the US. So it's a perfect mixture of my life, which is Indian and American. But most importantly, I everything I tried here in the name of global cuisine felt washed, right? Whitewashed. It all tasted the same. There was no flavor to it. It was just boring. And I'm like, my consumers deserve better than that.
I mean, I think it's It's so interesting. I apologize. I gotta say this, but the brand is just freaking amazing. It's so vibrant, and there's a story behind that. And the little illustration
Hmm.
looks like you.
It is.
So t tell us the story behind the brand.
Um, the brand is steeped in family. The illustration, while it may look like me, for me, it's for every woman to be able to see themselves in it. There's a poem around the illustration that I urge people to read every time they pick up a bag. There is a seam on the back that is my mom's sari borders from her
Oh,
sari. The hand in the back that's holding the chip is my little daughter's hand.
mm.
The company is built after my son's name. And there's Gujarati lettering in the front. There is so much. And perhaps one of my favorite pieces is the fact that we did not put a picture of the product. We broke every rule possible. We did not put a picture of the chips on the front because I'm like, people know what a potato chip looks like. I don't need to insult my consumer. We're good. Although I know there are different reasons to do that, and no shade on any of that. But we're so consumer focused. And here to serve and here to feed, that you'll see that the name of the flavor is on top and the name of the brand is on the bottom. And that was done completely on intention because I want my consumers to know what they are getting out of it. What is it in it for them? This is their proposition. This is their snack. I don't care if they don't know the brand name yet, but they should know what they're buying. So that was the reason for that.
And I think the other thing is it doesn't have the shitty my bad, but the shitty paper the packaging that most potato chips has
Oh, yeah. Mm.
that shiny packaging might be cheaper. I don't know, but just awful. And it
Yeah.
has anyway. And so the distinction is that it is spiced, not spicy. And look, let's talk about that because
Yeah.
this is one of our overlaps and one of my pet peeves actually. So
For real. For real, there is such a misconception that Indian food is always spicy. And that, oh my God, I can't have that. I don't eat spicy food. We have to break through that narrative. It is tired and old and simply not true. Indian food is so vast and varied, and it is so far beyond the butter chickens and whatever in the menus, that it is time that we raise our cultural equity in the food space. So it's
absolutely.
important, right? I always joke, I don't not joke, but I always say, how a ramen bowl can cost $3, but a pasta has to cost 15. I think there is a lot of disparity in that. So I think it's time we work towards raising that. And uh, we literally every demo we've done, anywhere we've shown up, the first thing people have said, is it spicy? Is it hot? I'm like, nope, it's spiced, not spicy. And that line has become a thing for us. And the second people try it, they're like, oh my God, you're right. All I'm tasting is flavor. It's not burning my mouth. It's not overly salty. It's not greasy. All that was very carefully crafted.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand, and I've been trying to understand for 38 years,
Mm,
like what is this cultural baggage, I mean it's so layered. There's so much
mm,
cultural baggage, I remember back in the day, people would ask me, which thank God they don't ask me those questions or ask those questions anymore. Do you have tigers? Are
mm.
there any elephants where you were? And so then I embraced it and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so hard to be in America in small cars when I'm used to riding around in donkeys and camels and elephants,
Yeah.
but the point is that India is vast, but
Mm.
maybe, more vast than most countries when it comes to food cultures.
It's
And
so regionally deep. Yeah.
when you get to an Indian restaurant, someone said to me, "How do you describe most Indian restaurants?" And I said, honestly, like Applebee's.
Yeah.
The Indian restaurants in
Literally.
are like Applebee's of India. It's like they have a
Mm,
few things that they know people will buy, so they sell
mm.
that. They're watered down, and then the other thing is even a chai latte at Starbucks, right? Chai tea, literally calling it TT, right? Is
PT.
It's like it's spice. Does it have spices in it? Of course it does. It has cardamom, it has cloves, it has cinnamon in it. I mean, you have hot chocolate with spices in it, but somehow spicy is like a bad word, and it's like it's not spicy.
Very misunderstood. It's
Yeah.
very misunderstood. I think the delineation between spicy, and spiced, and chai masala, like there's a lot of confusion around all of these words. So
Yeah.
when people think chai spice, they think cinnamon. When they like, there is a lot of misinformation, I think, in understanding that.
Yeah, I mean, and I do think there's it's what's the right word? Maybe pejorative is too
Mm,
strong, but it's there is a sort of colonial hangover even in the United States today with food culture, right? I mean, why are we immigrants, but someone else who's from England is an expat, right?
mm, yeah.
So I think there's that, but I also want to show you, and the people who can't see this, I'm going to describe it to you. I have this little sticker on my phone.
Love it.
I snack. It's actually in
Hindi.
Hindi. Yeah, I snack, therefore I am. And so my cousin's wife was asking me, what is that? What is that? So I told her the story. She was like, you can't carry that. You can't carry that phone with that sticker. You have to always have Kia snacks with you if you're going to have that on there.
That is so cute. I love that.
So, so we talked about that, and the Bombay spice chips use a blend of 29 spices.
Hmm.
I guess the question I have for you, that is complexity,
Hmm.
and that proves the theory that, you know what, if you put your prejudices away, you can actually handle spicy.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
can handle complexity.
You can, and you deserve it. That's the thing. You're missing out. You've grown up without being introduced to all this wonderful food and cuisine. Imagine you didn't know that there were all these countries in the world and all this exploration left for you to do. Imagine you had no idea that that existed. It exists, and we want to bring it to people, and we want to take them into places where they never thought they could.
Now you've talk about Golden Ranch, which
Mm.
takes something incredibly familiar for Americans, right?
Yeah.
Ranch. It's like embedded
Oh my God. It's so
Well,
crazy. Okay,
yeah.
Golden Ranch is my immigrant story. Because when I moved here, everybody around me was eating this white sauce on everything. And I'm like, what is this? What is this white sauce people are eating? And I hated it because to me it tasted so chemically and just like fake. And my husband was, he was a big ranch guy. He would always say it's ranch. Like he'd always say in that manly way for some reason. And I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. But, I wanted to not alienate myself from the cuisine here and from the culture here. So I would find a way to bridge the gap for myself. I used to put some masala in ranch, like especially turmeric and some little bit of garam masala, mix it all up. And that's how I learned to eat ranch. This is that story.
I just love white sauce. Everyone's eating
Oh
this
God.
damn white sauce.
Oh, it was so bad. It came out of this bottle and that never expired. And I'm like, how is this food? Ugh.
I know, and it's also interesting how people that are so sensitive about leaving, anything out for more than 3 hours, but they will eat out of that ranch bottle that's
Oh
been in
God.
the fridge for like 6 months.
No,
Uh,
no, try years. What do you mean 6 months? For years it sits there, yeah.
Yeah, without mentioning any names, we talked about this on an earlier call,
Yeah.
but as opposed to other people who want to go into the international aisle,
Mm,
right? The dreaded international aisle.
yeah.
What I love is that you created a snack, a potato chip specifically for the snack aisle.
Right.
That
Right.
is,
Right.
and what would you say to people who are thinking about going to the international aisle as opposed to where they should think about going?
Yeah, I mean, this is not about people. This is about how food has shown up for them, right? This is not a decision they're making. It's been made for them. So this is about how we show up in the retail aisles, how the retailer is set up, how they are presenting food to their consumer. And I'm always happy to take names, but it's all good. But I think the ethnic aisle, which I'm not a big fan of that word, is meant for uber ethnic products, sauces and condiments and I don't even know. And that's not somewhere where we can thrive. We would 100% be dead in the water there. People are not going there to look for snacks. The other challenge that I've found, because when I started the brand, I thought I had a different proposition on hand, but this is the proposition I have on hand. Consumers, American consumers, have a habit of interacting with global flavors in a RTE format. So it's ready to eat. It comes from the frozen section, comes from the shelf steady, stable meals. It comes from restaurants, or it comes from maybe you have a friend who's Indian and they're making food at home. It has not been done or translated onto a snack format or into an accessible format where it feels like it's known. So that's the proposition on hand, and that's also the challenge on hand.
And until I was prepping for our episode to record, I hadn't heard that you had said this or you've talked about it, desegregating the way we consume food. That is, and you
Yeah.
just talked about that.
Right.
I mean, it's food, right?
Yeah.
It's not ethnic food. It's food,
No,
right?
it's
It
food.
might be a category of food.
Sure.
And is this a situation, man, I'm treading on some thin ice here. Is this
You're way past all that, Duncan.
is it is it is it a, is it a is it a situation where buyers are part of the problem?
Yeah, I think so, right? I mean, okay, look at it this way. In all the art forms in the world, whether it's music or poetry or actual art, right? The one thing that everybody needs, like you don't need to consume that art, but you do have to consume food when you talk about art. And that unifies us in a very human way. Like that's an equal playing ground, basically. So that is the problem when we try to segregate and delineate what is food and what is normal and what is abnormal and what's acceptable. That is the issue, right? I have a biracial daughter, and for me, I want a reality someday where she walks into a grocery store and it's just food. It's not her mom's food or dad's food, or it's just food. And everybody should have access to flavor. That's the bottom line.
I love it. I love the philosophy, but it also is realistic because that's really who America has become.
Absolutely.
And so I think that we're living in this effed up reality of, it's a binary, it's a binary equation, but it's not a binary equation,
No.
right?
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's like Canada, what we are like Canada was 35 years ago, and we will be like
Mm.
Canada in less than 35 years, right?
Yeah.
And so I hate this point where culturally or culturally origined products are separated
Mm.
into their own section, right?
Sure.
And I think, damn, I'm so far into this now. Consumers are ahead of retailers when it comes
Very
to,
much. Yeah.
and so I think that the buyers, I was just talking to a CEO of a beverage brand, and he said,
Mm.
we have to actually, we need you to help us to educate the
Mm.
buyers. And I was like,
Mm.
damn, this is a new project, because
Yeah.
typically it's like, hey, we need to educate people, who are going to buy the product. And he's like, we
No.
can't get into the part of the store that we want to.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, same, right? I have the exact same problem. And I think we all have to band together and recreate the narrative around global foods, recreate the narrative around what we want to provide our consumer. The consumer is 10 steps ahead of us. The consumer is Gen Z and alphas who are younger and are more well-versed. They have internet at their fingertips. They're more knowledgeable and they know more about global things than the even the millennials do. So they are going to look for fresher, newer ways to eat food. That is the bottom line.
It's interesting. You and I both have kids who are at that age. My son would much rather go to an international food store.
Mm,
He's looking for adventure while he
yes,
shops. He wants to take
100%.
risks, right? And in fact, I was going to ask you, was it more meaningful to get your daughter's approval on the chips than retailers?
Oh my God. Okay, so listen, my daughter is only 7. She just turned 7. She is a classical American kid. She only eats mac and cheese and chicken tenders, and maybe if I push her enough, she'll eat a piece of broccoli. But that's it. That's her whole life. So when she crushes a whole bag of like Bombay chips, I cannot like it blows my mind. And to me, that alone is enough to feel like I've done something good in this world.
That's amazing. And I feel you on that. I mean, what, a year and a half ago, you were
Yeah.
expecting the brand to get to about 100 stores, and today you're in 1,800 stores, right? And yet you're saying, hey, I'm ready for the breakthrough.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
what is
looking for
it?
a real chance. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so the dream is alive. You're pushing forward. You're thankful. What becomes more difficult as the opportunities get bigger?
Oh man, it comes with its own challenges, but scaling is a very different challenge than creating the product. And then uh, uh, scaling is the hard part here. Creating systems that allow you to scale responsibly is hard part here. We don't want to rush into every store and every shelf because we want to win where we end up. So we want to slow down a tiny bit and be able to take our wins in in whatever where we are and then grow from there. So, but scaling is super hard.
Yeah, and you nailed it with the systems comment.
Hmm.
Um, and I think all founders are encouraged to say yes to every opportunity, but
Yeah.
you've reached a point where you've had to turn opportunities down.
Yeah. And listen, I've done that myself, right? In the first 6 months when we got out of the doors, I said yes to everything because it's so attractive, right? It's like, oh my God, this shelf, this shelf, this shelf. And it's not like it's not an ego hit. It's more about the fact that, oh, people, you have a product, you made 600 cases, you have to sell them, and if people are asking for it, then you should sell them. So it's more just a simple math. They want it, I have it, here you go. But that doesn't work out.
No, it's a lot of complexity.
Right.
In fact, when you've gotten into big places, and you walk in there, you see your bags on the shelf. Um, what does that feel like?
A part that I didn't talk about is that my brother designed all of the branding, and all of the packaging. And every time I see our bags anywhere, I think about how proud I am of him, and how much he deserves that visibility and that accolade. The packaging has received so much love, so much love, and he deserves all of that. And I wish my parents are alive to see his work on shelves. And secretly, I still do think that I want to scale just so I can get his design out everywhere in the world, you know. But yeah, I'm very proud of the fact that we worked so hard to get there. And surreal, surreal. Like the other day, I think I was at a mall somewhere, and somebody was eating a bag of my chips. I fell off my chair. It's so surreal. I'm like, oh my God, people are actually eating this. Like, okay, it's freaky.
Yeah, and you won some big awards, and
Hmm.
I think you said something like the pursuit is the reward, and the
Yeah,
validation is the cherry on the top.
100%.
When and I missed you at Expo West, but we connected at the Kehi show. But what was it like at Expo West?
So I was just walking the show this time. I had never been there ever, and it was crazy packed. Like, why are there so many people here? I'm like, oh wait, I'm here too. So it was hypocritical for me to judge that. But we will be at Expo West next year. We'll be in the startup CPG section, and we're looking forward to our very first expo.
What are you excited about next?
There might be a fourth flavor in the works. Maybe
Woo!
you're hearing it first. Something coming from my straight from my heart and from my childhood, FYI. And I'm excited to see which retailer believes in us and gives a chance. Yeah.
I'm predicting it's a Bhel Puri brand, a Bhel Puri flavor.
Pretty flavor. It'll just be for you. You're the only one that's gonna buy that. Yeah.
Okay, so rapid fire section, okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Bombay or Richmond?
Oh, dude. Oh no, that's not fair.
I wish every interview of mine I was so on.
You really are. Okay, Richmond.
Okay, sweet or savory?
Oh, sweet.
Okay, baking competition or retailer pitch?
Oh, no, another bad one. Baking competition.
You could also say pass.
Oh, and now you're telling me that. I'm passing on the first question. Yeah.
Okay, Bollywood or Backstreet Boys?
Oh, no, no. Bali Backstreet Boys. Like there's no, there has to be a, no, nope, not choosing that.
Although the Backstreet Boys do feel more Bollywood than they do feel American to me,
So
but
they're American Bollywood. That's what I call them. Yeah.
yes, the
Yeah.
dance moves, everything,
Oh, it's so good.
the
It's so
cheesy
good.
songs that get stuck in your head.
And they're not cheesy. They're like from their heart. They're so deep, profound even. What are you
Uh,
talking about?
okay, favorite snack that isn't one of your own?
Is cake a snack? I'm a big
Yes,
cake.
cake is a
Okay,
snack. Cake is a snack.
big fat kid. Yeah, cake. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. The Indian flavor, okay, this is not a fair question, so I think you
Oh
should
no,
pass. The Indian flavor you think America is ready for, I'll just withdraw that.
Bombay
Um,
Spice.
what is one thing people would be surprised to learn about you?
I have a black belt in karate.
Woo!
Mess with me.
Dude, I'm glad we're on the same team.
Oh, funny thing is, I can't even kill a fly. Like, even if I was confronted by somebody, I would forget all my moves, and I'll probably just be like, "Do you want a hug? Because we don't need to fight."
Okay, so last question.
Yeah.
Imagine someone is listening today, they have a recipe that everyone they know loves them.
Mm.
They have a dream of turning it into something bigger. They don't have a team. They don't have many resources or the answers. Maybe they're even wondering whether their food or their culture is too unfamiliar. What would you tell them?
That's a tough one, you know. I would tell them what it takes first to get past that, right? I would like what it takes to go into retail or scale or get to even just a product stage, and then I would let them decide.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I think someone said to me recently, she started a company and she thought everyone was going to buy it, including her family, and her family didn't buy anything.
Yeah, it's not it's not for the faint of the heart, I don't think. And if you're lucky enough that you can do a good job, and you're a lawyer or a doctor, like if you have those kind of, see, I'm useless. I There is nothing else I can do in this world besides feed people. So I have no option but to do this. But if you have a different option, please choose that.
Well, you're very humble. We know that's not true. One thing that really stands out to me about your story is that you're, in my opinion, and I think to anyone looking in, is you're, and hearing everything you've said today, you're building something much more than a potato chip company.
Absolutely.
You're taking something deeply personal, your flavors, your journey, your life, enrichment, the act of sharing food with someone you love and turning it into a brand that can change what feels familiar in the American snack aisle. So first, I just want to say thank you for making the world better, my friend. And then you've also shown that culturally specific food doesn't have to be hidden in a
Mm.
section from the world.
Yeah.
Uh, Congratulations on all the growth, and I'm wishing you the best for more growth. And I really appreciate you coming and telling your story with me today.
Yeah, no, thank you for creating a space where I can be myself, because you feel so comfortable to speak to. And we've said a lot of a lot of things we shouldn't have. But you know what? It's real and it's honest, and that's you can't beat that.
Yeah, and thank you to our sponsor, Firebelly Marketing. If you're a food or beverage brand looking to tell better stories, build awareness, generate demand, and support sales, go to firebellymarketing.com. Kia, one last question. I already said one last. Where can people find the brand and the products?
All over the US, if you go on our website and type in your zip code, you'll see where we are close to you. We are also you can buy through our website as well. And hot take, we've got a Costco lunch coming up next week.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you so much, Kia. Everyone, if you've enjoyed today's conversations, I highly encourage you to check out the website and to subscribe to the show. Check out Kia's website and subscribe to the Firebelly Social Show. Leave us a review, share the episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the Firebelly Social Show. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.